All right, hello. Today we're trying to get me set up for developing in the container registry for GitLab. I'm Dan Croft, Engineering Manager for Package Group. João, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm João. I'm a backend engineer on the package team, and I work mainly on the container registry.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, the idea here is this low shame situation. It's been a while since I've been actively writing code, so João's graciously offered his time to help me sort of get back up to speed with some of this stuff, get my environment set up, and then start working through a bug that we've identified as being a good candidate. So meanwhile, I am building my environment in the background. We started out by installing GDK, and we're setting up in the background, but since we don't need that, according to João, for what we're doing, we can get started. So guide me, good sir.
Yeah, so the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we have Go installed.
Mm-hmm.
I
should share my screen again, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. We go over to that. Okay. So I have, I just did a git pull on the container registry project.
Okay. And can you show me your path?
Oops, I should type well. Let's see if that works for me.
Okay. It's fine checking out the source, but since we are cloning the upstream repository, and since Go relies on the path, on Go path to build the source, we need to respect the upstream source path, which means that we have to clone our container registry fork source code into a path that is the same as the upstream source code. Okay, so
got it.
So basically, what we have to do is just go ahead and grab the Git URL for our container registry repository. If you have it in hand.
Let's see. So I'm going to the container registry repo, right? I wish I could type better. I'm not typing very well right now. It's probably because I'm recording and I always feel awkward when I'm recording. And so what am I looking for?
So on the container registry page in GitLab, you need to grab the clone URL.
Yeah.
The one with SSH.
Yeah, got it. Copied.
Okay, yeah, copy that. And now we need to go into the path of the upstream Docker implementation. So just show your Go path, just as you did, echo Go path. It's there. Now we need to get into that directory. Okay, and now you need to create a folder, call it Docker.
I also
source. Yeah, you need to get into source.
Yeah.
Then GitHub. You should have one there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then into Docker, if you have it.
Oh, I
if
don't
not,
have that yet.
Yeah, we need to create it.
Oh, I can't type still. I'm trying not to look at my hands. I wish I had. I also like creating paths like all in one. There's a -p flag, right?
Yeah, you can do it as well. So now we need to clone our container registry source code into a folder, call it distribution, because that's the name of the upstream repository. So you just paste, yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I just copied it again. Git clone, but we need to call it Docker, you said, right?
Distribution. That's the actual name of the project. Right. Yeah. So if you paste the Git clone link, then we can give it the proper name.
Okay, I've tried copying the URL again. There it is. Yay. Okay. And what's the switch for this? Do you remember?
And you don't need any switch. You just need to put distribution in front. Yeah, just write distribution. And that's it. Git clone.
Cool.
And
this is something I would not have remembered.
Yeah. It's a bit tricky because, as I said, we cloned the upstream repository, so we still have the path of the upstream repository. And given that this is not using Go modules, we need to respect the Go path. to the source code. So now if you go into distribution, here we are, that's our source code. Now, do you have an editor of choice, VS Code or Golang or something? Yeah, cool.
Do you want me to share that screen now?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it will be useful. You can open the terminal tab there as well.
Yeah. Okay, so this is on my ridiculously giant screen. I'm not sure if that'll work for the purposes of recording this video.
Let's see.
I'll try. Let me just put this over somewhere else. I'm just trying to remove any odd things off the page, like my notes that I'm taking. So give me a sec. I'll share the screen. Let's see. It's this screen. This should be hilarious, actually. Okay, that's a large screen. I'm not sure how much you can see on the screen here.
I can see, I can see both. I can see the VS Code and I can see the terminal. So,
cool.
But maybe it will be difficult for anyone following at home to see both of them.
Because I can use the terminal out of VS Code, right? So I can just share VS Code. Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Let me do that. Yeah, where are we? This is VS Code here. Share that. Cool.
Yeah, much better.
Sweet.
Okay, so now we need to check if you have Go installed, and you have Go path, of course. But if you type Go space version, we are going to see which version of Go you're running. That's good as long as you're running more than 1.11. We should be good for this. Cool. You're up to date, so that's even better. And right now, the first thing that we need to do is fetch the dependencies. We already have all of that in the vendor folder, so this is not a problem. As you can see there in the left side, you have the vendor folder, and you have all the dependencies checked in as well. So there is no need to fetch them here. Right. We just need to make sure that the Go tool will use the dependencies that are vendored. So let's just try to build the binaries. So if you write make, there is actually a make entry for that. Yeah, make binaries, and let's see how that goes.
Cool.
Nice. So it worked, which means that your Go tool has used the right vendor dependencies. Otherwise, it would not have worked. So right now, we can check the version of the registry. We can see that actually three binaries were built. The only one that we care about is the registry one. Okay. So if you type /bin.
Oh, I got to do the path. Thanks.
Yeah.
I would have forgotten.
And now the v flag for version.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. 281. First one. Yes.
So that's exactly the latest version we have. Since we are in development, it will append the commit hash to the tag version because we are running locally. So that's it. Everything is okay. Now, what we need to do, so the source code comes with everything that we need except the configuration file, okay? So we need to set up a configuration file for the registry before we can boot it. So for this, there is no specific documentation on our container registry repository because it's the standard Docker documentation that serves for this. Let's see. The configuration, you can look at the official Docker documentation, but I'm just going to give you a sample config. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, let me just. Okay, just sent it to you.
Thank you. Is anything in here not suitable to have on
I take out everything that was not suitable. So yeah,
awesome.
Just
thank you.
Copy and paste.
Yep. Okay. So where's my config?
We need to call it config.eml. You can actually call it whatever you want, but this is the standard naming. So in the root of the repository.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I think you probably need to click somewhere on an empty space.
Yeah, that's what I was. Wait, I can
It's
do
there.
that here.
It's there. Yeah,
That
it's
one,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's moved it in the wrong folder anyway because
No
I was
problem.
clicked on it.
Yeah, you can drag it. Yeah.
I'm good at things. Yeah, cool. All right, and then let's go put this down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, and then the config YAML, I'm going to drop that in there that you gave me, and then we got to change the path.
Exactly. So you can, in this case, we are going to use the file system storage driver. So we could use file system or any block storage file system, but the simplest one for development purposes is the file system. I usually keep it inside this path. You can give it another path or create the path that I'm using. So if you just want to keep the same path, just create the underscore temp / storage folder.
I should do that in my terminal. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's -P, right?
Yeah,
For,
it is.
Yeah. Did I spell that right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right,
great.
Sweet.
So we should be ready. There is nothing special about this configuration. It's just a standard configuration with a special root directory for the file system driver. So let's go ahead and try to boot the registry. So to boot the registry, you need to do /bin/registry, and then we use a command.
Do we need / or just? Is it / or
yeah, /, yeah, like we did for the version check. Yeah, that's cool. It. And then we use the command serve. Yeah, and then we are going to pass it the full path to the configuration file. So you can do $pwd in uppercase and / exactly.
Config.yaml because it's right here, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. Run it.
Okay, let's go. You have Docker on as a prefix to the command, so that's not needed. Yeah.
Oh, I'm being ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, what is it complaining about?
Version.
Unsupported version. Let me see.
Did I save this file? Hang on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also asking me to allow my registry application to accept incoming connections. So I'm just going to allow that.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was more for the sake of the video, so people would be expecting that to pop up if they were trying to help, trying to write code here.
Makes sense. So let's just pop up a different terminal tab. I think you can do it on the plus button on the right side.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I've never really used that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
And now let's do one thing, which is calling the API to see that is no repositories inside our registry because it's empty and it's a new registry. So we can use curl for that. So if you do curl HTTP, okay, and then the address to the registry.
Which is what? What is it running on?
0. It's the one we have on the config file on line 10.
Oh, got it. Sweet. That would have been smart if I just looked at that. That's good.
Yeah, and then V2, the Docker API, Docker Container Registry API is already documented on the official documentation, so you can look at that if you want. And then to see the list of repositories, we do underscore catalog. Without without the U and the so yeah, that's it.
How am I spelling catalog? And that's just that's the path we need right now. Should I run this?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so we have no repositories at all. That's completely expectable. So let's go ahead and upload our first image. So maybe we can start reproducing the issue that we have been discussing. Cool. I've documented the steps to reproduce it, and one of them is actually uploading an image to the registry. So let's do that. If you go to the issue, probably it's worth to share it.
Screens. Hang on. Oh, you want to share that as well?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm having a little bit of a screen issue. Bear with me. Don't go over there. Sorry, I've got like a bunch of windows open. Bear with me.
No problem.
Sorry, pretty standard for me, unfortunately. Okay, and so I'll share the issue so people can look at that. Where are we? I think it's this one.
Yeah,
cool.
That's it.
Yep, sweet.
Okay, so this is the issue that we are going to try to reproduce and patch. So this requires a fix, and we are trying to do it. For anyone following along, they can look at it for more details. But overall, the problem is that when an image has only one tag and we delete that tag, if we are using a blob storage backend, so say S3, GCS, no matter what, if you delete that last tag, the folder for all tags will also disappear because it will have no childs. And in blob storage backends, empty paths are not preserved, okay? And that will cause the garbage collection process to fail because it will try to look for a text folder inside a given image, and there is no text folder. And you're going to see that error failed to retrieve tags, unknown repository, okay? So we are going to try to reproduce this, and if you scroll down to my comments, it should be the last one. Yeah,
that's the very extensive and well-defined one. Great job. Thank you, João.
So yeah, so let's try to reproduce that. Let's, if you want to stop sharing this and just share VS Code, it's fine. People already know where they can find the issue. We are just going to reproduce that steps one by one.
Where's my VS Code? Here it is. Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Got it.
So the first step is to grab a sample image. So we are going to use Alpine latest for this purpose. We can use whatever image. We just use Alpine because it's small and serves the purpose. So go ahead and do that. And then once that is done, we are going to tag this image with a path that resembles our container registry path, okay? So that's the next step. That's right. In this case, you have either to set that variable or just replace it with the address that you're using. So HTTP and then the address.
Oh, the whole thing. This would be for the local environment, right? So this would be 000.
Exactly.
Oops, I got to put the right things in there. 5000. Cool. Does that look right to you?
Yeah, let's give it a try. I think we are going to have an issue. That's it. Use localhost instead of 0.0.0.
Doesn't like me.
Yeah. We need to, the Docker daemon will only accept registries that have a secure connection, so HTTPS. We don't have HTTPS, so we need to update the Docker daemon configurations on your machine to add an insecure registry. Let's see, if you go to the Docker on your top tab, you have preferences, right?
Where am I at? Sorry.
You have Docker started already?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, so
preferences.
Yeah, that's it. Preferences, and then let me see, because I did it once. In Docker Engine.
Yeah.
Engine, you have do you have something like insecure registries on that configuration?
It doesn't have any config there. I've got debug equals true and experimental equals false.
Yeah, so we need to add an insecure registries section to that. So let me send you my configuration, which I just sent you. In your case, so I'm not using neither localhost, neither 0.0.0 as address. I have an IP address, actually. So in your case, just add an entry for 0.0.0. Let's see if that works or not.
All right, sweet. I'm just going to change out your IP that you have there. All right, I'm going to apply and restart. I've got 0000 and localhost both in there.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, we are going to try 127.0.0.1.
Ah, yeah, that one.
Okay. I remember there was an issue about this.
Cool. It's just restarting Docker right now.
Yeah.
I was expecting there to be some basic setup effort here to get this going. So I was hoping, I'm glad that we're recording this so that people can sort of follow along. Cool. So Docker's running right now. Try and run that command again.
Without,
You want to run localhost?
Without the HTTPS. Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly. So let's try that.
Nope.
Now let's try the localhost.
Nope.
Sorry.
Do we have to restart?
No. I'm being silly. You don't need the HTTP / in the beginning. You just need the host name and the port. Yeah. So basically, I don't know this because I always set an environment variable with the registry address and I reuse that everywhere. So that's it. Now let's do third step. And push.
Hold on.
Which is
I'm just
pushing.
going back to the image. Bear with me. Yeah, Docker push.
So you already tagged the image. Now we are going to push the image to our container registry.
And then let me just get rid of this.
Yep. Let's see.
Okay.
So it works.
That looks good.
If you didn't have change the insecure registry configuration, I believe this command would fail because the content negotiation would not be in HTTPS. But it's okay right now. So let's go to tab 1 on the terminal. So that's the drop down on the So we should see the logs from the container registry. There was first your catalog query. It's there, and then we have the push. Is that the latest version? Because I'm not seeing a post request or a put request there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. Let me see.
If you hit enter, there is nothing below. Weird. Okay, well, let's go to the other tab.
Okay.
And let's use the tree command, command to list the contents of our registry storage folder.
Which was
underscore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Okay, we don't have anything there. So weird.
Yes, indeed.
This is very weird. Can you try to? Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, that's even weirder because.
You know what? You know what I did? I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
Oh, you started the registry before saving the file, probably. Before saving the config file.
Yes. Okay. Let's stop the registry then, eh? What is that? /bin registry.
We need to go to tab 1 because it's running there.
Got it. Thanks.
So just Control C.
Yeah. Cool.
And let's start it to see if it picks up the new configuration file. Okay.
I'm going to allow the connections again. Let's go back over and do the commands just to make sure it is working.
Let's push.
Just want to. This one.
The weird part, the weird part is that this request shows up in the logs, but the push didn't. So that's weird. Let's try that. Yeah.
Just this one's good. Layer already
exists. So it is running somewhere, but it's not running where we want it to run. Okay, that's really weird. Do you have any GDK instance running? Because that also listens on the 5000 port by default. So
is this, but with GDK, is that firing up an instance of container registry as well?
Well, it's weird because the one that we launched should have failed if the port was already in use. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that is weird. Suggestions?
Okay, so let's do this. Let's stop the container registry that we have running first. Okay, it stops. Now let's see if there is something listening on our port. So if you if we use the lsof command, so lsof space, and then we are going to use flags n in minor, then p capital. Let me just see. And then space and another flag. And actually, I'm going to send this to you because it's a long one. So let's not make people wait for it.
Sounds good. Oh, okay, yeah. You got to check the ports, see what's running. All right, sweet.
Okay, nothing is there. Now let's just make sure and try to run the curl command again.
Oh, that was in the other window. Hold on.
Okay.
Connection refused. All right, so that's a good sign.
So the only difference that I'm seeing is that we are tagging the image with localhost and not 0.0.0.0.
Okay.
So let's go ahead, start the registry again, and retag the image.
Back up here, this one, and then we'll tell this. We want to make this 0.0.0.0.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's push it again, and we have to use the right IP as well on the push command. Yeah. Okay.
Push. Let's check the. Yeah, that looks better.
Okay. So I don't know what happened. It was really weird because the layer existed somewhere, but it was not here.
Magic layers. Got it.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead. It's working right now.
Cool.
So good. We have reproduced the first part, which is uploading the image. Now, if we need to run garbage collection, let's run that. The command is also on the issue.
Got it. But we have to put it in offline mode, right? Or read-only mode to get it to work?
Not really. We can run it directly. So if you see, actually, step 3 would be to list the contents of the file system tree.
Oh yeah. Wait, I guess I don't have tree installed.
Yeah, you can just brew install tree, and it should work.
And that's just tree dot, yeah.
Yeah, tree, and then no, we want to see the temp slash storage folder.
Oh, got it.
Oh, okay.
Let me check the other window. Where did it say it was putting it?
Just copy the whole path from the configuration file. This is really weird.
Oh, so from here. We're having fun. This is a good time. Yeah.
Okay. So you're probably not in the right territory in this terminal window, so that might be the problem.
Yeah, that is weird. All right, well,
let's
just move on. I don't need to solve that. Yeah.
So we can see that we have one repository only, and that repository has so if you scroll down, those are the blobs. Then we have the repositories. We have one. We have our org, our project, and then we have the tags. Okay, and there is only one tag, which is the latest one, which is right below that. Yeah, right, exactly. Yep. So what we are going to do first is running garbage collection to see that everything runs okay and there is nothing eligible for deletion because we only have one image with one tag and it's being used.
Okay, I'm just grabbing that command. And you said you want to run that from here, right? What did I just do? Sorry,
yeah,
let me just put this
it.
back. Yep, registry garbage collect config YAML. I got to change this to current
bin.
directory.
Yeah.
Yeah, bin. Yep.
Okay.
We're good.
Let's see if that works. Okay, so for anyone that noticed, the log output is different than the one that is shown on the issue, because meanwhile we have shipped a new version of the container registry with garbage collection improvements, which also included structural logging. So that's why the logging looks pretty different. So moving forward, we can see that the last line, 3 blobs were marked. There are no blobs eligible for deletion, and there are no manifests eligible for deletion as well. Okay,
yep.
So this makes sense. Now to reproduce the issue, we are going to remove the text folder for that image. And basically this will simulate the end tag of the image on a blob storage backend, which will cause the text folder to disappear as well. So there is a command for that on the issue as well. You just need to rm -rf and then use the path for that.
All right. Where is that on the issue? I don't see it.
Let me see. So that's step 6. Steps to reproduce, and then it's step 6.
Yeah, I just don't see the command on there. Am I just missing it? The actual command to run? Docker rm, right?
Yeah, no, actually, let me just grab this. Yeah, just sent you here on Zoom. Okay, so that's the full path to the tag of that image. We are going to remove the parent folder, which is the text folder. So let's go ahead and write rm and then we are going to force the removal and make it recursive. So it's rm exactly. And then you go to _temp storage / and then you paste the path that I've sent to you.
Yeah, but I need to use the full path lest I run into the same problems, right?
Let's do that, yeah.
And then the tag was, what do we,
now you just need to, actually, let's do it interactively. So just hit tab on your keyboard. Okay, again. And now let's go to repositories. Again, and now that's right, and let's see that the manifests exactly, and that's it. And then we want to delete the text folder. Okay, let's do it.
Like the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm scared of deleting whole folders like that, but I'm gonna hit enter now.
yeah. Let's go. Now
right, sweet.
We can run the tree command again and see that it vanished. So there are no
tags are gone.
Text folder, tags are gone. Now let's rerun garbage collection, and we are going to see the error that is reported on the issue. Here we are. Okay. So failure to mark, failure to retrieve tags, unknown repository. Now let's find out where in the source code this is actually happening. There are many ways of doing this. We could debug this and run a debugger or something like that, but let's just do the easiest way, which is finding first the error message. So at first it may seem, that that's a unique, that's a single error message, but it's not. That's actually the concatenation of several error messages. Okay, so you could search for a combination of them. I'm going to make it easier. So if we search for failure to retrieve tags, just that portion, and we can. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we have two places. Let's see what places are. Okay, that's one, and that's inside garbage collect. It makes sense.
Yeah, same error, same block of code right here.
Yeah. So the first one that appears, it's not the one that we are looking for because it has 4 digests in front. So that's not our problem. The one that we are looking at is probably this one, failure to retrieve tags. Now, how do we know if this is really the right one? Again, we could use a debugger, we could use multiple things, but let's just print a message to the terminal inside that if block. So before that.
Before, yeah, sorry,
yeah.
I missed the return. FMT, yeah.
Yeah.
Dot print.
Can do. Whoops.
Print line is good, yeah. And then we can go
something.
Cool.
Right, cool. So now we need to build the binaries once again and rerun the garbage collect. So if you
stop this.
Actually, the serve can continue to run because it's an independent process from the garbage collector.
I already stopped it, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So we can go to tab 2, that's right. Now let's make binaries. Right, and now it will compile everything with our changes, and now let's rerun the garbage collection command that you have. Yeah, that's right. Now we should see your message. We are here. Okay, so we are in the right place. So what happens is that command above repository.tags.all will try to look for all tags of a given repository, okay? But we have deleted the tags folder. So the problem comes from within that all method on line 128, okay?
128, which is here.
Exactly. So we need to find out where the definition for this is. And now some text editors will let you jump into the definition. So let's actually see how that works. Click on that.
External website.
Okay, you're going to look at the documentation. Just click cancel, hold down commands and click on all. Yeah, let's see if that works. Okay, it works. Now we were redirected to a place that's not actually the implementation of the method, but rather the interface that defines the implementation of the method. So this is not that useful. Some text editors would show you where this method is being implemented, but I believe VS Code will not without a couple of plugins. So let's do one thing. We could search for a method, call it all, in the source code and find where it is defined. So if you just search for all and then parentheses.
Tags
okay, all. That makes sense. Tags, it will definitely be something, name it tags. So that's one of the implementations. If you click on that, let's see. It's the actual interface, so that's not what we are looking for. Let's just see if there is any file named tags that is not the one that contains the interface. So I'm seeing one. Yeah, that's the handler, but it's just calling the method. It's not actually defining it, so we can skip those as well. Now, if you keep scrolling down, I'm seeing here one tag store. Okay.
Yeah.
The tag store has a definition of the old method. Okay, so this is one of the places where that interface is implemented, and I believe this is the place where we are getting the error. So let's repeat the same thing and just include a print inside this message, inside this function. I believe that error should be on line 38. Path not found.
Path not found. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably it comes from a selection.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's just make sure we are on the right place.
What do we got here? Tag store, store.go line 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes it a bit more useful.
Yeah, that's just an easy way to debug it. Okay, so let's just build the binaries again and run garbage collection, and hopefully we are going to see that message.
Yep.
Okay. It's there.
Okay.
So the problem is here, or better, it starts here. So we can see that the text store will invoke the storage driver on line 36, and it will ask for a list of the elements inside that pet spec. Okay, and that pet spec is exactly the path to the text folder inside the repository. So it makes sense that if the text folder is not there, we are going to get a path not found error, and then we are going to translate it to a distribution.error repository unknown, which is actually the error that we are seeing in the end of our message, which says unknown repository, right?
Unknown repository, yep.
Yeah, so
right
we can see that,
yeah.
yeah, that's basically the text representation of this error. And then failure to retrieve tags is the error message from the garbage collection code. Okay, so it makes sense. We are not going to touch this, and why we are not going to do it here, because this code is reused in several parts of the container registry. Right. So we don't want to silence the error here. We need to silence the error where we actually are comfortable by ignoring it. Okay, so let's just wipe that message and restore the previous state. Okay, let's go to the garbage collect. And now what we need to do here is basically we are doing that, and then we are checking if the error is not nil. If the error is not nil, we have an error, which is the case. But if the error is an unknown repository error, we want to ignore it, okay? We don't want to halt garbage collection. So the first thing that we need to do is basically make a type assertion on the error to check if the error is an unknown repository error or not. I'm sure this is done in other places as well. So if you want to do it, just go back to the taxstore.go file, copy the distribution.error repository unknown. Yeah, just copy that 2 words. Yeah, and actually save the file because it was not saved.
Thanks.
Yeah, cool. And now let's go search for that on the source code like you did for the all function. I'm sure we are going to see this being parsed somewhere exactly. So in Go, the way to do type assertion on errors is actually using a switch statement. So just go ahead and copy that switch statement exactly. And let's go back to the garbage collect. Now inside the if, we want to paste that, we want to do that type assertion. And in case it is this error, we don't want to do nothing. So we don't need to include any instruction. And then we need to add a default clause to the switch statement. So if you write default, and you exactly, and now you need to, that's it. So you don't need to do anything like that. Some people like to put a comment inside the case statement saying nothing needs to be done. That's a matter of preference.
I don't know if that's a good message right now, but I wanted to, that's definitely my preference. Make it clear why we're doing it.
it's good enough. So with this, hopefully what we are going to get is that in case there is not a text folder for an image, garbage collection should not be altered, it should continue. And the manifest and the blobs associated with that image that doesn't have a text folder should be marked as eligible for deletion. Okay, we want to free the space that's related with that. So we can go ahead, make binaries again, and then run garbage collection, and let's see how that works. Awesome. So
that's to delete 1.
Yeah, three blobs to delete, and 1 manifest to delete. Okay, there are only three blobs in the repository. And they are all going to be wiped because there is only a single image referencing those blobs, and that manifest doesn't have a text folder, so it's also eligible for deletion. So this makes sense, and it fixes our issue.
So next step is writing tests, yeah?
Oh yeah. So that's the fun part. So we have a lot of storage backends, as we said already, but the garbage collection tests are only written for the in-memory driver.
Got it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Sorry, João, we have like 3 minutes left for our meeting. So maybe what we can do is sort of wrap this up here. As a hey, here's how we can get into it as an example to people to get started. And then maybe we could talk about about tests separately. What I might do is actually create an MR for this change associated with the issue with this particular change we have, and then I'll add tests to that and we can take that async. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Makes sense, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, with that, is there anything we should talk about with the S code still shared, or do you want to just wrap up now?
Yeah, I think we can wrap up. We have seen the setup. We have seen running the code, compiling, making a change, seeing if it works. It works. So I think this is a good introduction.
Awesome. Well, João, thank you so much for your help and being patient with me. It's been a little while since I've actively written Go as part of my everyday life. So I definitely appreciate your assistance, and I hope this is helpful for people in the community and other people who might like to contribute. If people have any questions, probably the best thing to do is maybe comment on an issue. We'll start adding documentation around how to contribute for our community contributors and other people who might be just interested. So where can everyone find us? GitLab.com, navigate to the package group. There's contact information there. It's under CI/CD. And otherwise, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.